I've set off hundreds of traps in the Ewok Hunt game mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2, triggering nearly every trap dozens of times without taking any damage, saving countless troopers from hitting them. Save your lobbies by learning this skill. On the Ewok Village map, one variation of this trick works on every single trap, except for one which has issues sometimes. We'll talk about that later. Notice that the tripwire, that there's one end that sticks into the ground, and there's one end that's higher. On this map, while you can roll through the higher side, I recommend always rolling on the end that sticks into the ground. So see here, when you look up, the trap appears to be center with the cord. We're gonna look around really quick to make sure there's no troopers by us so they don't accidentally get hit. When we trigger this trap like this trooper did. And then we're going to roll on that edge of the trap right where it touches the ground. And we want to basically have our inside foot just touch that across when we roll. And see, it triggers it and we're still at full health. And this works on every trap, except for one on this map. It does work, but it's a 50-50 chance I've seen that it still hits you on this one trap. So what I recommend is to trigger it the same way we're going to trigger most traps on the research station map. And that is, you see this higher side, you're going to roll through that side, and you want to be as close to that pole as you can when you roll through. Now, using that one technique from the iffy trap on the Ewok Village map, we're going to use this technique on most of the traps on the research station map. On this map, you'll notice that while there are some traps that have the cord that does stick in the ground, and it's pretty rare. With this map, you want to look at the side with the pole that's sticking up, and we're going to roll through this side, just like on that previous trap. And see, we didn't take any damage. In case you're wondering why the traps appear green in this video, that's because I'm using a visual setting that's built into the game. You're going to click the menu button, then options, and then video settings. And then underneath colorblind profiles, you're going to click Protanopia. And see, the traps light up green as well as the huts. I recommend this setting specifically to new players. It acts as a bit of a training wheels so that you don't hit traps. For my higher skilled players, I recommend using this setting, as I also recommend people to try to play without their light on. This is a way that you can throw off Ewoks and make it a bit harder to be spotted at range by them. And because the traps are glowing and the huts are glowing, it's one more navigational marker you can use to figure out exactly where you are and what direction you're running. It also makes locating these traps, trigger them a lot easier. There are a few traps on this map that I recommend against trying to trigger them. There's two by the water and the wall end of the map, on the north end of the map. And while you see in this video I do trigger it successfully, there are other times where I try to trigger it the exact same way and it still hits me. So I recommend against messing with this trap. Now, the two traps that you have a specific way of triggering them, or a specific direction of travel I should say, are these two traps at station. You see the cord goes into this wall here. We're going to roll on this higher end here across here, and it only works from this direction. It's the same with this trap. That's one trap down, and then except this way we're going to face the opposite direction and roll across this end. See, on this map especially, you want to look and roll to where if you see a tree and the pole is right by it, you want to roll it to where when you exit the roll from the trap, you're not hitting a tree. When triggering traps, remember that it can be quite loud when the trap hits the ground, so just adjust your volume accordingly when you're playing the game. Also, make sure to listen for nearby Ewoks when you're attempting to trigger the trap. If somehow you miss on the first attempt, make sure to back up and make a wide arc around the trap so you don't accidentally hit it. While creating this video, I thought it would be fun to make a challenge for myself where I have to trigger 10 traps per round, and I'll release a video showing multiple rounds, as well as a self-imposed restriction that'll make the game harder to play until I accomplish the challenge. I've already recorded multiple games of me attempting this challenge, and some of those rounds were super intense, so keep an eye out for that video. In the meantime, did you know Ewok Hunt has a secret early warning system that your trooper will say when there's an Ewok approaching? This can be especially helpful when you're standing near a trap and a wrong move can have an Ewok stab you into the trap. Here's the video on screen, and I'll include a link to this video in the video description. I hope this helped. This has been Tempered Courage. Good hunting.